Welcome, everybody. Tim Bartz here, McArthur Ford in Salina, Kansas, also known as Ford Video Guy. It is January 18th, 2022. Welcome to episode 23 of these live streams. Gone longer than I thought it would, and really enjoying this. And I think this is going to be a good episode today. We're going to talk about a lot of different models and vehicles, but our topic for today is what we can learn from the January 13th Mavericks that were scheduled this last week. We had 23 that were scheduled. Small number. I have a theory on that we'll share here in 29 minutes. We do see a timer down there. And I think that I fixed my audio problem that we had. The alerts were kind of messing with this mic, I believe, and so I muted the alerts. So if anybody subscribes or anything else like that, or becomes a member, it's going to flash up there in the upper corner, but it should not affect any of the issues with that. And hopefully it wasn't a timer issue. So somebody noticed that when the timer went away at 30 minutes in, it stopped doing it. So maybe between the two, hopefully we fix that problem. So I guess we'll find out when somebody subscribes, right? So, but anyway, thank you again. And for mentioning that, don't forget, if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, hit the red subscribe button down below so you can get subscribed over to the channel. Hit the notification bell. In fact, here, let me go ahead and show you the graphic there. So go ahead and subscribe, hit that bell right there. That way you get notified the next time we have another video uploaded to the YouTube channel. And we do have, we have a lot of different content that we usually do, not only live streams here, but also when I get my assistant up and running, we'll be able to edit more videos, get some of those videos out, some how-to videos, some other videos. In fact, speaking of that, some videos that we have coming up, kind of skipping ahead here, we do have a Maverick first edition that I did a video on several weeks ago that I still am in process of editing. Plus, my Bronco will be done with the Roush R package this Thursday, so hopefully Friday I can record that and have that coming for you as well. So you definitely want to be subscribed to the channel. And of course, if you like this video or any of the videos, smash a like button on those videos. I'd really appreciate it. And of course, shout out to all the members in here. So we have some new members. June, thank you for becoming a member. Patricia's in here. We have John in here. We do not have Ridgeview. He is on his way back from he's headed back to Maine with their two their two Mavericks. So they delivered theirs last Saturday. Had a great time picking them up at the airport, bringing them back to the dealership and delivering his son and his daughter's Mavericks. They were ordered the exact same day, and he actually gave his Maverick to his son because his son ordered his later and his hadn't been scheduled, and actually that was the one that we had messed up on, and he is getting somebody else that's a subscriber to and watches the live streams. Basically, he had two on order and gave one to Ridgeview, but so he gave his to his son so his son could have something since he's without a vehicle. So they're driving both those back and really enjoying it. So I think I did get a text. He is in Tennessee right now, so they are heading back. They did take a stop and take a little bit special trip in Branson, and they went to a show, I think, in Branson and stayed the night there and spent the day in Branson on Sunday, and so they are on their way back. But again, thanks for all the members that are in here. A couple others jumping in there I see too, and so thanks to all the members that are in there. Also, don't forget, this is being recorded on a podcast platform as well. So if you listen to any podcasts, you want to listen to this later, then you can do that in different podcast streams. If you want to find it real easily, you can find it on our website as well, McArthur.com/FordVideoGuy. And you can see all of our streaming episodes there as well. So there are going to be some graphics I'm going to pop up. In fact, let's go ahead and show you guys a Ridgeview. We did take a picture here of them. So okay, Tony, thanks for subscribing to the channel. So hey guys, if you let me know if you had any audio issues there. Hopefully we didn't, but there's the family there. So of course we have Mike there, clear on the right, Mike Mole, Maverick Mike, that delivered those two. And of course you see myself there, and then Ridgeview and his daughter, son, and his granddaughter over there clear on the left side. And they have a cactus gray, and it was an XLT hybrid, and a black XLT hybrid as well. Didn't get the lecture package. I think they got all were the mats, and I think that was all they ordered on theirs. And then they added the spray and bed liner and bed covers here at the dealership to those as well, and I think front window tint on his son's, on Joshua's there. So had a lot of fun there. So yes, definitely really had a blast there. But definitely they reserved theirs pretty early and got theirs. They reserved on the same day. That's how they came in the same day. Were scheduled the same day and everything else. So I've had some people on Facebook. They had questions. How did they get theirs early? And they didn't get theirs early. They ordered theirs in June, and they ordered it based on some of the specifications that I told them to keep their in mind. Originally an XL hybrid, and then switch it to an XLT because they wanted the cruise control, and so they didn't add the luxury package or anything else, and that's why they got theirs scheduled quickly and got built. Okay, another thing to remember, don't forget, I do have a personal YouTube channel, Ford Video Guy, so you can search for that. The link is down in the description if you want, and I did release a video this morning. My goal is to try to do a video there every Tuesday morning. That's the day I come in late, so I can do these live streams and edit a video. So did one on how to drop the soft top, so if you want to check that out, you can check out the link to that video as well. And then also tonight, I'm going to have to end the stream a little early, by at least 8:20. Can't go over 8:20, so you guys have to keep me to that. So if I go to 8:20, you got to remind me, because I'm going to be on a live stream at 8:30 for a Auto Transport Intel, their YouTube channel, and they do a live stream about 2 or 3 times a week, and they actually work and help transporters with different problems, solutions, and what's going on in the automotive industry on that end of it. So they like to, I've been on their live stream, this will be the 3rd time now, talking about different things from the dealer standpoint and expectations and transporting. And then they know we transport a lot of vehicles in and out of here, and so I think it'll be a fun time over there as well. So if you want to join me over there, you can. They have a small channel over there that they have some, when they go live, of course, they're live the same time we are at 7 o'clock, and then at 8:30 they have a panel come in and add to their live stream. So we're going to jump over there and join them over there. Also, Thursday night, we're going to try Facebook Live. So we'll see how it goes. This first one will be more of just kind of an intro of what's to expect for future weeks, but it'll be kind of this type of format where we'll do Q&A on that channel, maybe come up with a topic as well. And gonna talk about that, but mainly it'll probably be shorter. It'll be at 6 p.m. instead of 7 p.m. Central Time over there, so you can join us. Should be able to see that recorded as well, just like on YouTube, if you can't catch us over there. So if you already subscribed or already following us on over there, it is of course facebook.com/Long McArthur. Pretty easy to get to. Of course, make sure you go ahead and follow us there. And then if you want that night, come on over. And that night we're just going to be an impromptu Q&A. So I might need some help with some questions. So come on over and join me Thursday night if you want to. I'd really appreciate it. All right, so just kind of looking at some of the comments. I don't have Ridgeview here as my moderator, so I'm just kind of making sure everybody plays nice tonight. Don't rake me over the coals too much tonight. But you guys are always so kind. Ridgeview has told me how awesome you guys are, so I really appreciate the great community we have here on this channel on Tuesday night. So anyway, just kind of reading through some of the comments. So. Yeah, that timer right there is just to let you know. Actually, I still have last week's subject in there. Wow, I thought I was so ready for this week. Let me change that real quick here. Oh my word. Thought I was so ready. New music and everything, and but did not change the title of our topic today. Let me change that real quick. Oh well, you know what to expect from me, right? So I'm always fly at the seat of my pants and figure it out, right? Kind of guy. Oh, I better. That's probably not going to fit on the whole screen, so let me. See how this looks. All right, let's see how that looks. Fix that. That look all right? Yeah, that's good. There we go. So there's our topic for tonight. What can we learn from the difference? The 23 Mavericks that got scheduled this week. We'll talk about that here in about 20 minutes. So a couple things I want to talk about. First, let's jump in to what's scheduling this week. About everything is scheduling. About every model is scheduling. The only one is not scheduling is the Edge. So everything else, Mustang, Mach-E, Bronco Sport, Bronco. We do have 8 Bronco allocations for this month. It'll probably go this week because we have 9 previewing from what I could tell. I'll go into some scheduling notes and some things to think about on different orders for you. But one I did not jot down is on the Bronco. That tow package will hold people up. It says limited production. It's asking dealers to tell their customers to take those off. I've actually did that on a couple, and one did get previewed for this week, and I did let another customer know they took theirs off. Maybe they'll get previewed tomorrow as well. So we'll just see how that goes. EcoSport scheduling, Escape, Explore, Expedition, Maverick. For those that we used all of our allocations last week, for dealers that did not, you might look at your orders and see if there's some things that might cause them to not being scheduled, and make sure you get with your customers and let them know that so they can be scheduled. F-150s, Super Duties, Transit Connect, Van and Wagon, Transit, all getting scheduled this week. We don't have any. We don't really have any Transit Connect. All of our Super Ds got scheduled last week, I believe, as well. So we have hopefully some Bronco Sports and Bronco get scheduled this week, because we have some allocations for those. So now, a couple different scheduling notes to think about if you have these vehicles on order. If you have an order in, it hasn't been scheduled yet. EcoSport, this is the last year for the EcoSport before it goes away. But ruby red paint is early balance out. That means that color is not available anymore. So they will no longer be selected for scheduling. So even if you have one, that particular color on order, you want to go in and make sure you get it changed, because it will not be pulled for scheduling. So you need to change that color. Ruby red, no longer available, even on ones that have already been put in into the order bank. Edge, which is not scheduled this week because it says dressing is extended one more week. Not sure what dressing means, but they did say that has extended one more week. They did say also that adaptive cruise control is holding up scheduling. So adaptive cruise is found as standard equipment on the Titanium 301A equipment group, as well as the ST 401A equipment group, and is also included in the Copilot 360 Assist. So I'd mentioned, and there are some other vehicles too where Copilot 360 Assist and Assist Plus were being held up and such, and it must be because of the adaptive cruise for some reason. So a little scary, because my Expedition has adaptive cruise, but there's no mention on the Expedition, so crossing my fingers there. Explorer, they said that these are the trims that are only available for retail orders. So that means custom orders. That means we can't order them for stock, and that is the base 100A, so we cannot get a base 100A in. And then your two hybrids, limited hybrid and your platinum hybrids, can only be ordered for retail customers. So if you're wanting to try to find one at a dealer, you're not going to find one. Dealers cannot order those for stock. They can only order them for custom orders. So if you're wanting one of those, you're going to have to get with your dealership and do that. So all right, Expedition, you cannot enter or amend a rear seat entertainment system. That's code 91D, and they will not be selected for scheduling for retail or stock orders. So if you do have your entertainment system, you're going to want to take that off unless you're willing to wait. Right now, they're not scheduling that at all. So, little other news, no Mustang production going on at the Flat Rock plant this week. They're off this week, they said, because of chip shortage. So they are saying that. I kind of found that out. So they're having some chip issues there, and that's why they're closing down for this week. Next week, they should be up and running, and they need to get going, because they will be shutting down February 18th for 3 weeks, I believe. So just keep that in mind. But they do have the okay to buy real quickly on the Mustang and the Mach 1, so should be good to go there. But just something to think about there. Some other news that I want to talk about. There's some pretty cool feature that Ford just released today, and if you check in the description, you can see that video. Don't watch it now because it'll take you from the live stream. Watch it later. But that video there, it's like a 1 minute little video on the canopy system by Ford. They teamed up with ADT, the home security system, and to help secure your truck, they show business owners. So they show the trucks, and then also the transits, and being able to protect it from people stealing things out of the back of the beds and such. So they have, it looks like they're using the camera system to set up and be able to do that. They say I think I've read at the bottom of the video that it's customer can set that up themselves. So that's really cool. Love to see that. That'd be really cool to add for especially with people with trucks. I know a lot of people put bed covers on them just so they can secure the inside of their bed. Maverick would be great too if they bring that to the Maverick as well. Now, something last week somebody asked was about those fit system for those people that have a hybrid on order, and you've gotten that email to get that free fits accessory kit. Some people asked, what about drop ships? So if your vehicle is being drop shipped to another dealership, the brand manager did let us know that box should be at the drop ship dealer. So it should be there. So if you get your drop ship, they deliver it to you, they give you the keys and everything, and you ask them for that fit system. Is it in the vehicle? If they say no, then it should be in your parts department. Can you go check? It should be back in their parts department and so that you can take delivery of it that way as well. So great getting that information from them. Also, did find out some information. Somebody had asked a question. They said, actually, I'm going to go ahead and read kind of what he had. But they asked if they make any changes to their Maverick, will it affect the price change too? So if they make a change and take something off or add something on, will that change the price on their vehicle and no longer be price protected? And the brand manager did say that you will be price protected as long as that order's in by the 27th, unless you change something major. So what they consider major changes is the PEP code, which is if you go from hybrid to EcoBoost. So let's say you're wanting to get yours faster, you're tired of waiting on the hybrid, you want to switch it over to EcoBoost, that will change your date and change your pricing to today's date. So keep that in mind. Also, if you change the trim, so if you go from an XL to an XLT or XLT to Lariat, Lariat to XLT, if you change the trim, that will also affect that price as well and take you to that price from what I understand. Or if you change your order type from retail to stock, which most people won't do, that will change that as well. So then you will not be price protected. But if you have a little major change, like you want to take the luxury package off, or if you want to put a bed cover on or take a bed cover off, that should not affect the pricing or change your date on that. You should be good. He did say to look at your DORA sheet. So most customers won't get a DORA. But as we do get something like this. This is actually on my Maverick order that I have. And then I'm giving it to another customer. And so like that one there, that is one, I actually found this out the hard way on this one because I did make a change in November to this order, late November. I changed it from an A plan because it was originally I ordered it for myself and I'm letting one of our customers have it. So I switched it from an A plan to a retail. And when I did that, it actually changed the receipt date to 11/15 at that time, and that's the date that I did that. So, but this is what a door kind of looks like for that, so you can kind of see that. So it kind of looks like that. Dealers usually get it. Sometimes they pass it on to customers, but not always. We usually don't necessarily, but they are given to the salesperson. They'll usually have one. And that's the date. It'll actually show you the order receipt date is on there. It's about the 5th line down there. So it'll show you when the door was printed and so that's printed. He said you can pretty much go by that because this price still is locked in, $22,280 for an XLT hybrid. So just keep that in mind there. But anyway, that's how that works. Some other things I wanted to mention. Moving on to the Lightning, F-150 Lightning. Some people noticed this last week that a lot of pre-approvals went out by email, which was kind of cool. I did receive one as well. Some of the theory out there is that people that got that pre-approval letter, all of the amounts were different, were sent out to people that may be getting a wave invite coming up this week. So I think there might be something to that. So hopefully we do. I'm number 2 at our dealership, so I would be probably next at the dealership getting a wave invite. So we'll see if that happens on Thursday. Some dealers are saying they're already able to see how many wave invites they have coming. I looked everywhere on Ford's website. If you're someone out there that's at a dealership and you know where to find that, let me know. Love to know. They did say that Wednesday is when we should find that out, but some people said they found it out today. I don't know, or at least their dealerships are telling them that. So anyway, so we're kind of encouraged by that. And I think somebody said that they had one last time, but they have 10 for this wave. So hopefully that's the case, and they're really pumping it up. But anyway, so no, it was I don't. Somebody asked if that was their name on there. This is I don't want to say who this is for. It's for Marie, and maybe that is for you, but that is there's one here where we messed up on an order, so I was given that order to them. So anyway, Okay, so other thing is there are some screenshots I want to show you. Some people asked on kind of what some things look like. So Greg from North Carolina sent me these screenshots. He did reserve an F-150 Lightning, and here's a couple of screenshots that he had. So this first one here is from the when the order was actually accepted from the dealer. So when you, it looks like this is a screenshot from your account. So when you go and submit your order, you can go in there and it'll show that your order has been submitted to the dealership. And then once the dealership accepts the order, which has to be done, then you'll get another green check mark that says order has been submitted. So that was pretty cool screenshot. And then this other screenshot he gave me was showing whether or not the dealership is raising the price. So you can kind of see what that pricing is. Like his dealership is doing MSRP. So you see it has your MSRP price, and then it also has any difference from MSRP up or down, and then that total dealer selling price, and then you can see those different deposits and such below that. So pretty cool. So I appreciate Greg sending me that and letting us everybody else know on the stream here. And I did actually on ours, we had ours defaulted to $1,000 deposit. I know Ford is, I think, saying in all the emails 500. We did change ours to 500. So if you have a reservation with us, it'll be a $500 deposit that you'll need to put down when you get that. And oh, Steven, by the way, I did see that yours is previewing. Your Bronco is previewing this week. Your second Bronco, it's previewing this week. And there's about, like I said, we have 8 allocations, but there's 9 previewing. So we'll just see how that goes for you there. And then also, somebody else asked, on F-150 Lightning order is done by the customer. Dealers are asking customers to give them their orders. So what I'm seeing is, I've been seeing this on Facebook, where customers are saying dealers are calling them, emailing them and saying, hey, come in, bring us your order. We want to have that order, so when that waving bike goes out, we can go ahead and submit your order for you. Don't do it. Here's the deal is, in fact, I got this from the F-150 Lightning brand manager, which he emails me right back, and I love that. But he said basically this is how the reservation should go, and I have it word for word here. I'm just going to read it off. So reservation holder is invited, and then the customer submits the online order. So you would accept the order online. The dealer accepts the order via EMP, which is their website, and then the configuration shows up in Webdo to be scheduled. So in that case, the customer then does it all completely online. They submit the order. They go through, real easy to do, just like on the configure. I mentioned that last week. And then at that point, once that order is submitted, the dealer goes in, accepts the order, it's done. The dealer does not touch that order in the sense of that case. Now, another way you can do it is a reservation holder is invited. The dealer requests an offline order via the EMP. So if they request it, it doesn't mean that they get to take over. So here's the deal. Then the customer has to consent, and they will get an email and or can go into Ford account. Once offline consent happens, a basic spec order is placed in Webdo for this customer, and then the dealer can edit it in Webdo. So that's how that works. So the dealer cannot just put an order in. The dealer cannot add an order in Webdo for the customer. They cannot push it there without the customer's consent. So if they try to, let's say the invite's in there and they want to click and they want to go in there and order that customer's vehicle, they cannot do it until the customer gets the email and they confirm that it's okay for the dealership to do their order. And some people don't want to do it online. There are a lot of people. We have a salesperson here that does not want to get on the computer, does not want to send emails, and there are people like that. So they can do this offline if they want to, but with the customer's consent by email. So, like I said, no reason to do that unless you're planning to have your dealership do your order for you. Then you can talk to them about that. But again, you still will have to confirm by email that you have given them consent to do that. So, and then it does say dealer can edit this Webdo order for the customer to their desired configuration to be scheduled. So that's how that works there for that. So just something to keep in mind. That's how that works. A lot of people were, dealerships are calling me, what my order? And I did have somebody that contacted me and said that the dealership, I think he went ahead and let them take control and put their order in because they requested it. They asked for it, and you don't have to give them permission to do that. This is, if you have a Lightning reservation, you own that reservation. You own that order, not the dealership. So you can go online. You're going to get the invite from Ford, not from a dealer. You're getting the invite from Ford when you're invited. So Thursday, hopefully I get a wave invite. The dealership's not inviting me. Ford is inviting me. I go into my email, I go in online, I can submit my own order, configure it the way I want it to be built. I confirm it, I put in my deposit, I edit my information, that goes to the dealer, and the dealer accepts it. So once I go ahead and put it in there, all they have to do is accept it, and they don't have to touch it, and they don't have to do anything to it. And I hope that Ford has it in their system to where if the dealer does try to make some changes to the order, then it notifies them. I'm assuming it will. And so that way it is your order. So you do not have to give them your build and let them do it. They don't, no, you can do it on your own. So Mach-E is done the same way. There's a lot of dealerships that I didn't really have a lot of Mach-E orders, so this is new to them, but this is not like Maverick. It's not like any other model. This is different. You own that. You can do it completely online. So anyway, just pretty passionate about that, but we'll be doing some videos again if I get an invite this week. I am gonna actually wait till my birthday. My birthday's Sunday, so if I get a wave invite, I want to actually do my order on my birthday to be able to say I ordered my F-150 Lightning on my birthday. I just think that'd be kind of cool. So but if you want to remember my birthday, you can remember 1, 2, 3 January 23rd. So, anyway, so hopefully, if so, then I'm going to be recording a video on that Sunday there, probably Sunday night. So also some other pictures I want to show of the Maverick real quick before we move on. Here's a picture that was sent to me by a customer that did not order with us, but he wanted us to be able to show you guys in the stream what a bed cover looks like, or a topper, like a camper shell topper. I like to call them toppers. I don't know, they've been out for a long time, but you can see there actually a little hard to see in this back, but you can see they come body colored. So when you order those from Ford Accessories, even on their website, you're going to get it in the color that you ordered. They do not have to be painted by a body shop. They're going to actually come in that color. So I don't know if you can see that, because it looks like that image is actually being blocked by that. It just depends on what you're looking at there, but hopefully you can see that topper there. And then also, here is a picture of, now I don't know if you guys remember in the live stream, but we had a vehicle that was drop shipped in Florida, and the customer could not take it. They lost their job or something. They weren't able to take it, so we actually put it out there for somebody in Florida that wanted the vehicle. This is that vehicle. So this is the carbonized gray XL that he ordered, and he got actually got some Bronco Sport wheels. That's the Big Ben trim Bronco Sport wheel that he had put on his Maverick. So it looks real sharp. So in fact, somebody I know somebody has already asked on their XL if we're gonna have any wheels, but we are doing. We do a lot of Bronco Sport LMX4 packages here, where we take those Bronco Sport wheels off from like the Big Ben or the base model, and we put a different wheel on it. And so we got, right now we don't have any in stock, but soon we are supposed to be getting some Bronco Sport Big Bens in that we'll be putting those LMX4 packages on. So we'll probably have some of those. So anyway, you want to contact Blake if you want to get in line for those. He is the one, and I already got some information to that customer for that. So want to kind of show you that. So how are we doing on time? 2 minutes, and I haven't gotten any questions yet. I've answered a couple, so let's answer. There is one other question I did want to talk about real quick before we get to our topic, and then we'll drill down on questions afterwards. Sorry for those of you that are giving and just want me to answer your questions. So this customer said that actually, I think I already answered this question. So he said, I have a dealer telling me that if I don't want to pay their ADM, oh no, this is a little different question. If I don't want to pay their ADM, I could buy the F-150 Lightning at MSRP, but they would push my reservation in the back of the line and would be delivered after the other orders. Prior to that, they told me I was one of the first 20 reservation holders. My question is, at this moment in time, can the dealer actually push reservations at the end of the line? No, they can't. So that, and I did answer his question offline, but no, you can't. You cannot do that. So right now, all the orders and the timelines are already set in place. The dealer could do some prioritizations, which they did, but in middle of December was the deadline for that. At this point, all of them are in timeline. They can't do that. Ford's the ones that's sending out the invites, not the dealership. So the invite's going to go out, and then you put your order in. The dealer should be accepting them. Even if, let's say, you put that order in and you've said, nope, I'm doing MSRP, and they want an ADM, that should be in their pricing matrix already. You should have a choice. It's either everybody is going to be at the same price. It shouldn't be, okay, this customer we're doing 20 grand over, this customer we're doing this. You can't do that in the pricing tool for the Lightning reservation. So this dealership evidently is not educated in the process, because they're either charging all their dealers an ADM, or they're not. You can't just choose and pick certain ones. That would be what Ford's already, they put in a letter out talking about this. That would have actually been in that letter that they talked about that they're actually paying people in those first spots to pay extra for those spots, and that would be how that works. So I am checking because my timer should shut off. I figured out also why that wasn't shutting off last week. So boom, there we go. So now let's talk about this week's topic. And we are going to talk about, but before I get into the topic, I do want to remind people that just think about this for a second. Got a page going on with last customer leaving the dealership here. Kind of had a late deal, but anyway, so keep in mind, there are some people that some of the hybrids were scheduled in early September. Just a few, very few that were scheduled back then. A lot of those were delivered in December itself. But then Ford, for a while, knowing that they could not build or not send out, they didn't have the okay to buy, they didn't get the EPA certification and such, they actually stopped building and producing the hybrids for a little bit, from what I understand, because I know I think it was October, November, we got no hybrid allocations. It was like all EcoBoost. I think one month we had 20, and another month it was like we only had like 13, I think, that were allocated for hybrids, and the other, I think it was 40 or something like that were EcoBoost orders. So really, if you think about it, production really didn't start for the hybrid until the month of December. If you want to look at it that way, because a lot of people, okay, well, I ordered back in June, it's been 6 months. Well, really, when you think about it, I almost look at December as being the first month of hybrid production in a sense, because nothing went out until December and nothing was really built until December. So that's why we're seeing a lot of June, July orders now, and a lot of people that are like August, September, October are really freaking out that they're not getting theirs yet. And I know it's a long wait. I understand. I'm a Bronco reservation person that waited 10 months to get mine built. So I understand what you're going through. And, a lot of people say that, hey, I understand. I truly do understand. I had a Bronco on order for over 10 months, and there are some people that have a Bronco, a July 2020 reservation, that are still waiting for theirs to get scheduled for a Bronco. So I talked to one of them today, in fact, and we made a tweak on their order. Hopefully theirs get scheduled this month or next month. But so I understand that. But I really do believe Ford is going to get those produced. I know that March and April, they're going to ramp up production. So let's talk about the orders that we have here. So we had 23 orders that were scheduled this last month, and that's a low number. Some people did see our December allocations, which actually was November and December's allocations. We had 118, 117, somewhere in there that month, and that was actually a 2-month number for that, because a lot of those numbers were for January and February build dates. And what I think Ford's doing is, and the reason I believe this is that this month the allocation numbers were a little bit smaller, but I think it's because they just wanted to finish out February. So I think their goal is to only be a month in advance. So if you look, the build dates for a lot of our orders, in fact, I think all of ours were scheduled for February 28th. The week of February 28th, the last week of February production. And so I think what their goal was to kind of finish out February and then have February's allocations be for March production, and then March allocations for April productions, and so on and so forth. So they were scheduling almost 2 months in advance, then a month and a half. Now I think they're wanting to get down to a month. So I think that's why this number was a little bit smaller number. If that makes anybody feel any better, that's just my opinion. That's my theory. I've been pretty good on a lot of things, trying to predict some things with Ford, but of course nobody can be 100% because it is what it is there. So I keep leaning forward. Let me scoot up. But anyway, so here's a breakdown of our orders. We had, of our 23 allocations, 19 were hybrids. We had one that was an XL hybrid. It was actually a fleet hybrid. So it was an XL with a full-size spare, nothing else. And that was a fleet order that was ordered in October 21st. And then the rest of the other 18 hybrids were all Lariat all of them with the Lariat Luxury package. 5 of those had a moonroof. Only 1 had an 18-inch wheel, and only 1 had a roll-up hardcover. So, and then looking at the dates, they were all July orders. There was 1, 2, 3, 4 August, August 3rd, August 5th, August 14th, and August 18th. So those were the August dates. But again, all of them were Lariat. So, and some people ask me, why do you think that you had all those Lariats and Lariat Luxury packages vehicles ordered? And I think that they finally got a batch. I know that on the hybrids are supposed to get it, but also the Lariat with the Lariat Luxury package, I know the EcoBoost are supposed to get the brake boost. And I know I've seen that show up several times of being a constraint, the brake boost there. Not sure exactly what that does in itself. That's why I haven't really talked too much about that in any videos. But so that I know was a hold up there for a little bit. And I don't know if that had something to do with it or what. But all these also had spray and bed liners because they were all early orders. So all of them had the luxury package, and Lariat Luxury comes with the spray and bed liner, not the drop-in liner. So there you go. That's kind of the hybrids. We did have 4 EcoBoost orders that were scheduled. We had 2 Lariats that were scheduled. One of them with the Lariat Luxury package, also had the first edition package, also had that particular order had the 4K tow package as well. So it was pretty loaded up and built that way. And then the other Lariat, it was a Lariat with the 360 package and a spray and bed liners, optional equipment, and that was it. And so the first edition that was ordered, EcoBoost Lariat first edition, was from July 6th. And then the other one was from December 29th. So it actually was a price increase vehicle because it was ordered that way. So, and then the other 2 EcoBoosts were XLTs. One of them with an XLT luxury package. I can't remember. And then both of them had the FX4 package. Both had the 4K tow package. So they both were all-wheel drive. One of them with the spray and or the sliding rear window and a full-size spare. And one order was from July 13th that hadn't been scheduled yet. I think it was the luxury package one. And then the other was from December. So the one from December, if I remember right, was FX4, 4K tow, all-wheel drive, and then it had to been, and then the full-size spare, and I can't remember which one had the sliding rear window, but anyway, so that kind of gives you kind of a breakdown of those. So again, that my theory was on this is that I think that it was a small number to kind of finish out February, and then we're going to see, and I think in February we're going to see allocations for full month of March build. So I could really see us getting a good number of 50 to 60 to 70 next month, hopefully. Cross our fingers. Also, you'll notice I think that the hybrids will get boosted up as well in production coming up. So if that was 1 week's full of allocations, because all those were scheduled for the week of February 28th. So if that's 1 week's worth and we're going to get 4 weeks worth next month, I could see us getting 80. And if you want to see the same breakdown and we see, almost, almost 80% were hybrids, we'd love to see that number for next month, tripled or taken multiplied by 4. That would be great to see. So anyway, so hopefully that kind of helps out. So let me answer some questions here for us in the chat. Yep, got everything else answered there. So just kind of starting here at the most recent one. So For You My Love says this week's allocation says are to be scheduled in March. And does that mean they're not getting any March production allocations, or will it be later in February? All of ours were scheduled for the week of February 28th, which actually would go into March because that means Monday is the 28th. So there are going to be some March dates in there, but they always kind of base it off of the beginning of that. So, and so coming up, we'll start seeing next month. We'll probably, now I don't know the ones coming up that other dealerships didn't fulfill this next couple weeks. Maybe they're going to be March dates. I would still see some February, probably 28 dates. I don't know, but that's just my gut there. So, see, Mark asked, my Lariat Luxury Hybrid with moonroof also got scheduled last week. Not a McArthur order, but same kind of build. So, okay, you also got a Lariat Luxury Hybrid. So there you go, with a moonroof. So So they are getting some of those luxury packages done, and I know they're trying to. I think they're trying to almost do some of the early ones, because like all the things, all of them that we have that are in priority 2 right now on our orders are June, July orders. The region's saying we want these first, so they are trying to get those out. So do you know when Ford will switch from manufacturing 22 model into 23 model? Yeah, it'll be August is when the order guide comes out. September is when they're going to start production. Really, in a sense, similar timing to this year. So 21 or 22, we started able to actually put those orders in, and actually it was a little different. It was June this year, but they started production in September. So it's going to be pretty similar to that, starting production in September. All right. Do you know if orders from June and July are getting a build date soon? I'm sure after those are done, things can go smooth for everyone that is still waiting from October. I really believe there are a lot of people that ordered hybrids ordered them pretty early. We had a really significant amount of orders, special hybrid orders in June, July, and August. So I think that's a big number. So I know it's seeming like it's taking so long to get through those, but I was looking, I think it's been a while actually. I think I threw that piece of paper away, but a chunk of ours, a lot of our orders, like about 60 to 70% of our orders were from June, July. And then August was a pretty big number, but then September, October, November were much smaller numbers. Of course, November was only half of a month because it cut off on the 15th. But you're going to see, there aren't near as many orders. So they probably can, all of my gut and what I've been telling people is, expect for June, July orders to be like this month. But now I'm seeing that probably will continue into next month. And then we can probably start seeing August, September, and then September, October, and such. So I still believe in my heart that Ford will get all of the 22s built as 22s and not get pushed into 23, because the production for the 22s will continue until I think through August, or at least through July, and possibly into August, because order banks will open up in August. But just because 23 order banks open up they're going to take the orders before they start producing them. So the plant usually will take a couple weeks that they'll shut down, and they'll retool for 23 and then start production. Usually start the production with a couple practice units, and they'll do a run of some practice ones for a couple days to make sure everything's done. Those are usually used for Ford reps and that kind of stuff. Sometimes they're crushed just because they were kind of test units, and then before they start production, because you don't want your vehicle that that you're spending $20,000, $25,000 on to be a vehicle that was the first one that came through, and who knows if something was wrong or a bolt wasn't put on right or whatever. So you don't want those. So anyway, so that's kind of how that'll work. So we'll see, production, I think, don't know for sure, but production should be going through into August for 22, and then probably September is when I believe the date they said is when they'll start producing the 23 model year. So, and then of course, I think they're going to, some of the early stock units, and they will give some dealerships some stock units like they did this year, a couple at the beginning, some of those first ones, and then more kind of like this year where October will be probably the kind of the start of production, seeing the first units for 23 rolling out to dealerships in November. That's my thinking on that. So, all right. As I understood it, finance with McArthur, they'll put $1,000 towards shipping costs to your state. Correct. So, yep. Do you remember that's what I wanted to base? Swap out the Big Ben Bronco wheels. Yep. And yeah, Stephen, we should have several of those wheels in stock, because we have 2 stock Broncos that are getting the Roush package put on. So we'll have 2 sets. So you definitely want to get a hold of Blake and Sean and them in aftermarket. Make sure you put your name on a set of those and such, so we can swap those out and figure out what that cost difference is going to be for you there. It might be a struggle because there aren't too many people that want the Steelies versus what they would get on an upper model. So it may be just a cost difference upgrade, but that's really their department, so I don't get too much into that. I try to keep my foot out of my mouth when it comes to another departments and how they do things. What happens on party list of dealer not getting to order for the 22 Lightning? Will they be on top of the list for? Okay, so I'll talk about that for a second. Kent, thanks for letting me know getting me that question there. So basically, what they'll do is they're going to keep sending out invites and waves every 2 weeks until they're complete. So their goal is that by the end, they'll have until the end of March 31st to have all the orders in from the wave invites. So then at March 31st, they're going to see what numbers they have. If they've fulfilled all their 22s, then they're done. And so the other people won't be invited to put their order in. It'd be different than Bronco, and I like how they're doing this. I think kudos to Ford there of learning from mistakes of the past. They do a pretty good job of that, of always trying to make things a little bit better if they can. And I think they've got a good formula here. See how it actually fulfills, but it's a good plan, and I think it'll work pretty well. And so what'll happen is, at March 31st, if they have some open allocations, they'll send out small chunk of invites, one last chunk, so possibly like a seventh wave if they need some more to fulfill for 22 model year production. And then the summer, and then I think an email will go out to those that didn't get a wave invite, letting them know we are full up for 22. We have all the production numbers for 22. You'll be getting a information this summer, and then I believe the timeline I have is that this summer, I think it's right in the middle of the summer. So yeah, I have this ordering timeline. I'll kind of show you that. Probably shouldn't. That's proprietary information, so nobody share it with anybody. As you can see there, so summer, right in the middle, right after Q2 is when the ordering for 23 will go on, right, and then go in, and then you can see the production for 22 should go through Q3, and 23 production starting at the beginning of Q4. So that's their goal from that, and I'm sure I might be sharing that. Maybe not supposed to, but I'm sure there's already a copy of that online somewhere. So a lot of people tend to put that proprietary information out there. So anyway, so that's how that's going to go there. So let me drop down to the bottom, because I started at the bottom and went to the top. Y'all know the song, right? Okay, so let me go down here. There we go. All right. Oh, I hopped over some questions there. Didn't I? Oh, wow. Okay, there we go. So let's see. How many June orders from McArthur still haven't been scheduled aside from mine? So I know we had 10 June, and I don't think any of the Junes got scheduled. So I think there's 10 June orders still need to be scheduled. And then we had 53 in July, and of 18 of those 53. Somebody help me with the math. Is that 45? No. 35. So we still have about 45 June, July orders that need to be scheduled. So hopefully next month we'll finish those out, right? That's the goal there. Hopefully that happens. All right. So, all right. What determines the year of your Maverick? Build date, ordered in 21, and built in 22. It's the factory and chooses that. So right now they're on 22. They started 22 production for the Maverick in September. So that VIN number will say it's a 22 build year. So they typically will start summer, fall for most of their build dates, and they'll carry them through into 22. So like, a lot of these vehicles are going to be produced in the 22 year, but there were some 22s that were also produced in 2021. So it's not when the order is in, it's when they produce them, and when they decide to name them. They've done that for years. They've always, I always thought that was weird. I'm like, we're actually in 2021 and you're producing a 22. That's kind of weird. But that's just the way they do it. So what happens on priority list of dealers not getting to order for 22 line? Okay, I already answered that question. When will I be able to print my window sticker? Usually like the week before your production week. So what will usually happen, I know this is what happened with my Bronco, is the Thursday before mine was supposed to be built, I got an email from Ford telling me it was scheduled for a certain date, and here's my window sticker. And then when I clicked on it, it was available. So it should be like the week right before your build week. So how many XLT hybrid luxuries from July do you? Okay, I already answered that. So sorry was answering you guys earlier. I was so all right. My XL EcoBoost is scheduled for the week of February 14th. Does this mean it will get pushed back because of the hybrid builds? No. Nope. they move them together. And I don't know if they do like a week of hybrids or they just pull them in and through together. But no, years will be built that week. That won't get pushed because of the hybrids. So how many changes might happen to the 23 Mavericks? Usually from year to year, we don't see a lot of differences. There'll be some color changes usually. Sometimes a package may change. I'm really hoping they take the spray-in liners, drop-in liners out of the luxury package. That would be great. I think that would really help them out. Hopefully they learn from their mistakes. And this model, you're not necessarily a mistake. It's just the demand that people wanted. Because I would have chose that package, but not because of spray and liner. Well, my daughter's got hers this week. So hers came in, her EcoBoost all-wheel drive, she ordered in June. She ordered it in June. She took delivery, actually today she took delivery, but came in last week, and she got the luxury package, and she didn't choose a luxury package because of the spray and liner. She chose it because of the other features. She wanted the heated seats. She wanted the keypad. She wanted, that kind of stuff. She wanted the dual zone climate. She wanted all those other cool features. It wasn't because of the spray and liner, because we do a really good job of spray and liners here. In fact, I feel like other than the nice, cool Ford emblem on the back, we do a better job of spraying the top of the bed where Ford misses that. So I actually think we do a better job here. But not all dealers have a spray and liner source like we do here at McArthur. So, and that's probably why they included that. So, all right, how many changes might happen to the 20? Okay. And then some other things. Hopefully that gets changed. And then sometimes different packages might change. They might just reword some things or take one feature out of a package or move it to a different package. Sometimes they'll do some things like that. Usually not too many changes. I'll guarantee you, I'll bet you any amount that the starting price is going to stay below 20. I believe that an XL will still stay below 20. I'd love to see a standalone option for cruise control in the XL, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's not, because they're price porting that first one to be under 20 before destination, but their goal is not to be able to sell a lot of those, because they want to have the people go to the XLT, and that's their goal. So I think their goal is XL was more for fleet customers getting a cheap truck for their fleet, something like that. Those small business owners, personal business owners that need a truck for their business, own a local business, that'd be a great little inexpensive truck that they could put and be able to do that with. I think that was kind of the goal there. But also, I don't think they want to sell a lot of the XLs. I think the goal is to go XLT. People will go up to XLT. It's 22, 23. I could see that one going up. Well, we've already seen it go up already $180, but I could possibly see it going up a little bit to maybe 23, somewhere in there. But anyway, so that's my take on that. Ordered October 2nd in Toronto, Canada. Hybrid XLT luxury spray and bed liner, trifold tonneau. Oh, good. And bed extender. Two things. The dealer tells me my order was recently switched to priority 1. Ordered October 2nd, hybrid. Yeah, priority 1, only the region can do that. But that means somebody in the region really wanted yours up there. So probably maybe friend of the dealership, something like that. Because we can actually call our head of the region and say, hey, can you make this one? Can you kind of look at this one? Sometimes what we see is A plan, D plans, X plans. If they're ordered that way, sometimes they'll give them priority 1 instead of 2. So that can happen. So I've asked on my order to make it a priority, if they could make it a priority 1, and they haven't. So like I said, you can ask, but it doesn't mean they always do it. So do you think they will move schedules around? Mine scheduled on February 21st date could get moved up to sooner. I think they kind of plan them out, but I have seen some move up. Sometimes they move back. So I think if they're having some issues with some parts, or they need to be closed for a reason, like they do have some issue with chips and not getting as many as they were hoping they would get in time, then that could move it back. Typically we see that get moved back, not up. So, okay. After Maverick gets built, what is about the average shipping time from the factory to the dealer? We have seen about 3 to 4 weeks. around here, there's usually a window of about 6 days, and almost always, in most situations, we see it showing up by that first date. But I'm not saying everybody in every part of the country is going to be the same way. Because I also know that Broncos or other vehicles coming from Michigan, I usually say the last date. Mine actually came the day after the window. So just really depends. But Mavericks are doing it, at least around here in Salina, Kansas. We're getting them within that first window. We're getting them about 3 weeks from the date they go out. So that's pretty fast. So it just depends on where you're at. And we actually have seen, though, some orders being held up at places. So now here's a situation. We actually have one of our orders right now that's held up in Kansas City, I believe. And we don't really know why. We really don't. So it ended up. Actually, I think it's not here yet. I think it's still down in Mexico, but I think it actually looked like it was going out. It was sent out of it said sent from the plant or whatever, and then it went back to the body shop company, which is really weird. And it's been there for like 3 or 4 weeks, and we feel bad, and we don't know. We can't get any information on it, so we don't know why. I know some of those get held up because have been some recalls on some things, and so sometimes they'll actually somebody else had mentioned they had one that was like a state away, and I know every region has a kind of a distribution area, and ours is in Kansas City, Muncie, Kansas, and so a lot of them will go through there, and then they'll get caught up there, and they'll like inspect them. And if it's included in a recall, then what they'll do then is sometimes they'll go ahead and leave it there until they can fix the recall there before they send it to the dealer. So that way the dealer doesn't have to fulfill a recall and wait for the parts. So it's easier for them to get a big chunk of parts sent to there than to have them distributed to a bunch of different dealerships on those recalls. So I know there's a couple different recalls, and some of them, I think sometimes if the plant's waiting on like 1 or 2 chips or whatever that they can put in, they'll ship it out. But typically they get held up at the plant for chip, and usually at a distribution center for recalls. So anyway, so sometimes that can happen. So keep that in mind. I'm going to sticker today for my first Bronco. When will it be shipped to McArthur? I'd have to look that up, Stephen. We have so many orders, and I know that yours is being built this week. So really, until we get that date, until it gets released, we really don't know. So. Ask questions with yes, don't forget. Thanks, Justin. Just remember to I'm kind of going through these. I'm not reading all the comments, so make sure you put that at Law McArthur, spell that correctly, McArthur, all one word there, Long McArthur, and that way you can get I could see it nice and orange for me here. I have to change my September XLT Luxury Hybrid to an EcoBoost 4K Lux. Will I get my order faster or slower? Now, if you might have missed earlier in the stream when I talked about this, but you don't want to actually switch from hybrid to EcoBoost unless it's going to take your date back to today's date. So I don't know if you caught that part or not. Now, if your dealer is telling you that you have to switch from hybrid to EcoBoost, more than likely your dealer did not get the documents on your hybrid in, and so that's why they're telling you have to switch it. So I would talk to that dealer, look for that approval, ask them for that ROVP approval and proof of that, and say, no, I'll wait for my hybrid. You can ask them, kind of put them on the burner in a sense, and see what they're saying. So if you want to switch it from hybrid to EcoBoost, again, that will move. Now, if you're wanting the 4K tow, you go all-wheel drive. That makes sense. Change your order. But if your dealer's telling you have to switch it from hybrid to EcoBoost, that's a red flag. If you're wanting to do that, that will affect your receipt date. So basically, it's like you just ordered today. That's what will happen. So if you switch that from hybrid to EcoBoost, if you change the trim for XLT to Lariat, either of those two things will change the receipt date to today's date. So hopefully I made that clear. Tim, that came up today. Someone complimented me on my bed liner. Oh, awesome. Yeah, I think we do a great job here. We got a guy that's been doing it for a long time, very consistent, very good at what he does. Been working with us for a long time, and I think he does a great job. My truck has a spray bed liner. So is there a waiting list if the previous buyer is unable to take delivery? What is typical market adjustment to be expected? We do have one. We really don't have too many not taken. We really don't. And my waiting list right now, for the most part, are people that are wanting. I do have a list of about 8 to 10 names, but every single one of those want a Lariat hybrid, and we usually don't see any of those. Sometimes the ones that aren't taken are XLTs. Some of them are EcoBoost, but very rarely do we see a hybrid not taken. If they do become available, of course, if you're on my list, I'll be emailing you. But we are, and of course, anybody with me, I'm gonna do a special deal. It's about $2,500 over on the EcoBoost, and I pretty much have some flexibility because of the live stream and such. But if you're on a live stream and you email me, I can do a special deal for you as well. And I'll probably even do the hybrids pretty close to that price as well. So I know a lot of people want MSRP, and shame on us for doing that. But if you look, they're just not out there anywhere, and it's just, we're not really making anything not making much, I should say, on the one, especially we have to ship clear to Florida, California, and such, with $1,000 of shipping, especially on the XLTs, that we just don't make a lot on those. In fact, we're barely cutting even on a lot of those. So on the ones that aren't taken, that's where we can make up a little bit of that money, and that's what we're doing there. So, but anyway, just contact me. I'll make sure I get you the best deal that I can, and you won't necessarily need to buy it at our normal pricing that we're going to have on our website. So, what happens on priority list of dealers not getting to order for 22 Lightning? Will they go on top of the list for order for the 23 or 2023 will be based on reservation dates only. Should actually, all the ones that have the priority, they should get theirs within 22. I wouldn't see why they wouldn't. Most dealerships, if a dealership had like 50 or less orders, they only had 5 priorities. And if a dealership had under 100, they only got 10 priorities, which means they're probably going to get more than 10 orders. And like we were able to have 25. We didn't even prioritize maybe a handful at that. And really what we did, to be honest, we didn't really move anybody that didn't reserve the first night. We just moved them to the top of that night on our, like the handful that we had. And so just keep that in mind. And so then the rest of them, though, we have 25 people I know on our list at least that reserved in the first 2 hours of the reveal. So by midnight that night, we had 25 people that had reserved in the first 2 hours of the reveal. So, I believe my belief is about anybody that reserved the first night is going to get a 22. Maybe the next day as well. We'll just see how things go. But we'll see. So I really believe that people that are on the priority list, they're going to be taken care of in 22. They won't get pushed to 23. So at 23, we're going to be going strictly off that timeline. And hopefully they don't do any more prioritizing. Hopefully that's all done for 22 and we don't see a prioritization, but going based strictly off the timeline for 23. Hopefully I answered that. Again, don't know for sure. That's just my gut, and that's what I think after some of the things that I've seen already. Hector, welcome to the stream. Hi, Tim. Joined a little late. Wide. All right. Tim, any word on if Thursday Lightning Wave 2 will include more than one invitation? I've heard dealers say that they have their numbers, which we can't find ours yet, so I'm not sure how they're getting that number. But one dealership said they had one last week or 2 weeks ago, and they have 10 this week. So I really think those numbers are going to be bigger. I think last week the first wave was more of a testing. They don't want to have too many coming in at once. So I really think that testing is done and such, just to make sure their system's working instead of just being dropped and crashing and such. So that's just my take on that. So Todd, I think I missed this one. So I got my Hybrid XL and wanted to know where I can post my own review of my truck at. If you did a video, Maverick Truck Club's a good place, or there's several Facebook groups. There's even a hybrid Facebook group that you can join, and I think I'm high on that to where if you join, I can make sure that you become a member there, and then you can put your review there. And I know a lot of people, if you're somebody out there that you have a hybrid and you live in a snowy area, there are people that are wanting, I know somebody reached out to us and said that they want me to do a review on a hybrid driving in the snow, but For us, first of all, I need snow. Second of all, I need a hybrid, and we don't have any. The only customer vehicles that we have, or only employee vehicles that we have, are all EcoBoost that are at the dealership here. So none of our hybrids for any of our customers. We do have one salesman that has a hybrid, and him and his girlfriend both have a hybrid, and theirs haven't showed up yet. So I'd need snow, and I need a Maverick hybrid to be able to do that. So if you have one of those, I know people are really looking for that and love to get your feedback on it. But yeah, try the Facebook groups as well as the Maverick Truck Club. Would love to probably get a nice little, if you're going to type something up, those would be great places to do it. If you want to do a video, you can pop the videos. You can upload the videos straight into Facebook if you wanted in there. Otherwise, you can post it to your own YouTube channel. Basically, if you have a YouTube account, you have a YouTube channel, believe it or not. So, all right. Ordered Bronco Sport Badlands November 18th. Should I expect a build date in February? We should hope so. But it's hard to tell, especially Badlands. We did get one show up this week at our dealership, but it was ordered a while back. But it really just depends, and especially if you added moonroof. If you added the moonroof, you're probably not going to. I know moonroof is a delay right now, so hopefully you don't have moonroof on your order. If so, have the dealership remove that unless you want to wait for it. But a build date in February would mean that it have to get scheduled this month if you want a February build date. All right. I'm trying to hold the comments so I don't miss any there, but okay. So any other, let's see here. How much of a difference can a dealer allocations make? One dealer said 6 to 9 months for XLT, luxury, EcoBoost, but others say 3 to 5. Can I trust either? Really, to be honest, they don't know. I don't know. None of us really know for sure what orders are going to get selected by Ford. So for dealers to say, here's what I think, I mean, I can only dictate what I think based on what I've seen over the last 6 months. To be able to do any guessing, I don't like to do that. And in my case, I would actually go longer. At this point, the only thing I could probably say is if you ordered a vehicle, you have a 22 on order, you're going to get it by August. That's the only thing I can really say for sure until it gets scheduled. So for dealers to give some timelines, they're just guessing. But I will say EcoBoost, because a lot of those they were being able to produce those last fall when they were waiting for hybrids to be produced. So there probably aren't a lot of EcoBoost orders in the database. So more than likely, you could probably get, if you put an EcoBoost in here, and if you had one, in the last month, we had one that was scheduled the 29th of December that got scheduled for a February build date. So it depends on the allocations in the dealership, and also depends on if they did the order correctly, and then, just getting kind of the luck and what you put on yours too. So, if you really want to get one, you want one fast, you go EcoBoost, you go XLT, don't put the luxury package on. You'll probably get scheduled the next time a dealer has allocations, which for us would be February. So we're not going to have anything scheduled for us until February. So if somebody came in January, let's say if I put an order in for myself right now and I did an XLT, EcoBoost, even all-wheel drive, if I didn't add the luxury package, I probably could get get scheduled for a March build date next month. But that's because of how I build it and be able to get pushed that way. Same way I did with my Bronco. I didn't reserve with everybody else. In January when order banks opened up, I ordered then, put my reservation in, ordered, but I ordered a certain configuration that I knew that Ford told us, hey, if you build it this way, you're more likely to get scheduled. I got scheduled 6 months later, got scheduled, and so I moved up ahead of a bunch of other people because I went a very simple build. I didn't put a lot of extra stuff on there that I didn't think I really had to have, and I got scheduled. So it really just depends. Again, there's too many parameters to be able to give a timeline, a general timeline for anybody, because if you went ahead and ordered a Lariat luxury or a XLT luxury EcoBoost, a luxury package is what's going to cause it to be delayed a little bit. So but if you took off the luxury package, you could probably get scheduled for a March build date. So anyway, hopefully kind of beat that to death, but hopefully that kind of helps you out. But the thing I'm telling you is dealers don't know for sure. We have no idea. Those two that got scheduled that were from the end of December, I was just shocked. I was like, what? December 29th? Really? So, because we do have some EcoBoost orders that ordered in September, not scheduled yet. So it really just depends. Tim, what is the hybrid club address? I think if you just search hybrid 2022 Maverick or hybrid Maverick, then you can find that. There's a bunch of, I didn't mute my phone. Sorry, folks. All right. So mine always pops up to the top, but there's Facebook groups for about every model. I'm in 3 Bronco groups. I'm in 2 or 3 different Lightning groups too. Even a Bronco Sport. Okay, so there's one Ford Maverick owners parentheses 2022 plus group. If you want to join that one, this other one is hybrid Ford Maverick 2022. So that's the one. If you have a hybrid order, they talk all about hybrid stuff in there. And if you want to do a review and put that in there, that's the way to go. Oh, look, somebody has a Bronco Big Ben group has one identical to mine, but with a hard top. That does look sharp. Okay. So anyway, so there's some different groups for you to join there. Hopefully that helps you out. So, and I'm in there. I usually post some things once in a while, as long as people are nice to me. All right. Hi from Houston, Texas. Can you give me a quick rundown of the process ordering from you guys, Maverick, financing fees, transportation costs, etc.? Okay, so ours is pretty simple. If you want to order with us, we're doing our pricing at MSRP. We have a $49.95. That's $500 dealer fee there. Of course, price and MSRP, I said that. If you financed with us, then we'll do free shipping up to $1,000. And that's just because if you finance with us, we don't make more than $1,000 on a financing reserve, but that'll pay for some of the cost to ship it to you. That's how we're paying for that. So we can ship it right to your door that way. If you're within 1,000 miles usually, then there are going to be no cost for shipping if you finance with us at standard rate. 0% rate, again, we make nothing on a reserve on a 0% deal. So that way, that's how we, again, pay for the shipping. Or if you want to do the 0%, we have some people that are just flying in. We'll pay for their flight, and then they can drive it home. That kind of thing. The people in Maine, that's what they did. They flew in. We paid for $1,000 of their costs. They did finance with us, and we paid for some of their transportation back. So we just cut them a check for that because we know it's going to be more than $1,000 between the flight for all 4 of them on the 2 vehicles, and then to drive back. So that's the kind of how that works. And pretty easy. We can ship it right to your door. So it comes in here. We can add any spray and liners, bed covers you want to the vehicles, and then we can ship it right to your door. And that can be shipped to work, home, whatever works for you. Got my scheduled date of 2028 for my order from you guys. I'm in Florida. Will you guys contact me about drop shipping, or do I need to call and make arrangements with you? No, we will. If you're getting drop shipped to Florida, then we actually get notification that it's arrived there, and then we'll contact you so we can do all the paperwork and everything and have that tied into. And then once we get all that, then we let the dealer there know that you're ready to have it picked up. Is the vehicle ready? And then we connect you with them at that point. We tell you what dealership it's going to be picked up at and who there at the dealership you would ask for, and they just hand the keys over. When you do a drop ship, when you're picking up the dealership, they're basically going to give you the keys and they're going to walk away. So they're going to say, there's your vehicle, here's your keys, have a great day. And that's all that fee charges. They actually do, make sure it's good off of the shipper. They clean it up. You do get a clean and everything, but you'll do everything with us. So anything needs to be connected with your Ford Pass or anything, and making sure that's set up, paperwork and everything, financing, all that is going to be done with us here at the dealership. So hopefully that helps you out. Can't wait. Getting close. Another question, once order for the Lightning is submitted, hopefully this Thursday, how long will the build be? In other words, when will it be? Actually, I think the one that we got submitted this last time doesn't have a build date yet. But you will be notified and get an email and let you know what week it's going to be scheduled for build and go from there. So we'll know that, of course. So I'm not sure. I think production's supposed to start. I had that graph. Looks like they're supposed to be starting middle of Q1. So mid-February? Probably March, to be honest. So some of the first ones will probably start being produced in March. And they did say summer deliveries, so that's kind of the timeline probably, Hector. Can you explain the allocations? I checked on my order, and it was November 30th XL with no add-ons. Eco all-wheel drive and hasn't been scheduled. I don't know if that was with us, but allocations are based. First thing they do is they usually look at the history of how many vehicles you sell. So for Maverick, that's a small number. We have sold 24 Mavericks this month, but a lot of times they're just for stock allocations. They based on how many vehicles you sold the previous month, then they give you allocations. And then recently, since June, they've been looking at COVP, which means your certified order process, or those ordered vehicles. So your custom orders that you have, they're going to also look and base it off of that. So they're going to see how many COVP or ROVP orders you have. So on Maverick, they're going to look at maybe the month before, but right now on Maverick, most dealerships are seeing a 0 at first. And then they give a dealer a spreadsheet of here's what we're expecting so far at the beginning of scheduling, and then they go, but we haven't looked at your COVP orders yet. And so then those have to be in by the middle of that previous month typically, and then they start looking at those orders and they base your allocations on how many of those orders you have. We have 400 orders. For our region, we're getting the bulk of the orders because we have so many in the system. So one of the reasons probably why Chapman and Granger we're doing below invoice, because they have those orders there and they want them built, and they know that the more orders they have, the more they're going to get scheduled, and so maybe that's why they're going below MSRP on their vehicles. But we're getting pretty large numbers. I think actually Granger's in our region, and I think we doubled the next dealership. I think Granger was second in our region. So all of us are getting, pretty good numbers. Your local dealers should get some as well. As long as they have some orders in there, they're going to get some numbers that may be 1 or 2 at a time, depends on how big your dealership is. That really just depends. And we do get a lot based on the number of vehicles that we sell, but they're more likely to give a dealership one that they know is going to get sold. And in fact, we actually just found out this last week, because every order has to go to the person that ordered the vehicle, and if it didn't get delivered to that person, there's an appeal process. You can say this is why that person didn't take the vehicle. They have to submit an email of why they didn't take it. If they didn't take it because they didn't lost their job, or they couldn't get approved, or maybe they couldn't wait. We had somebody that said, nope, I can't wait, I had to get a vehicle, and theirs was still on order waiting to be shipped, but they said I got a vehicle instead. So something like that. We actually are 100% on our appeal, so we had a 100% ratio on all of our orders. The ones that didn't get delivered to their actual customers, we had perfect appeals on all of them. And for Mavericks, you got to remember we delivered 24 so far this month. We delivered, I think, close to 30 last month. We delivered about 20 the month before, and we're getting them all converted. So again, a lot of them are going to the customers that ordered them. So it's just some of the people just couldn't wait. They needed to get a vehicle. Theirs just broke down, whatever. They couldn't wait. And that's an easy appeal to be able to say, I couldn't wait for my vehicle, and that's why. So, will Ford honor any financing that was offered at the time of order if better than current offers? Yes. So basically what they do is they look and see when you ordered your vehicle and what the incentives were at that time, and you can either get those incentives or what they are currently. And keep in mind, if you want the current incentives, let's say rebates come out this month, you have to go with the pricing of what it is too. So you either go from the date that was ordered, or you go from the date it came in. So if you're going from the date it was ordered, you get the original pricing that was locked and the incentives at that time. If you want new incentives, let's say a $1,000 rebate came out, you have to take the new pricing with the rebate. So you got to see which way is best for you, and you can take one or the other. Tim, when will my hybrid Lariat Luxury being scheduled 28 February go to the dealer? Okay, so if it's being built and scheduled for the week of the 28th, then usually it'll be built that week, and usually about 4 weeks after that. But sometimes there's some customers, some hangups on some of their builds. Like we have one customer that his was supposed to be delivered this month, and it's going to be in February before it gets delivered because it's being held up at the plant for some reason. So there's some hiccups sometimes, but typically in most cases, 80-90% of the orders will go real smooth, and you'll get it about it should show up about 4 weeks after it's built. Okay. How many F-150 Lightning 22 are allocated for your dealership? We don't know, and we're not sure why they're waiting. But I really think we're going to get as many allocations as get invites. I really think that's why it's going to work. I've been actually had a lot of customers ask about, hey, where would I be at your dealership and such? And I really told them, I says, I really believe at this point, Ford is sending out the invites based on your timeline and where you're at. I really don't think they're sending them out based on, okay, McArthur has 135 reservations, so we're going to give them this many allocations, and this is how many invites are going to go out. I think the reason they haven't told us any numbers is I think they're going to send out the wave invites, and then we're going to get as many allocations to fulfill those wave invites and orders that were end up confirmed and committed over. Because one of the factors on allocations is the conversion ratio from reservation to order. So if we get 20 invites sent out and all 20 people convert their reservation or their invite over to an order, that's going to bode well for us. And then and if they have any extra allocations at the end or extra orders that they have at the end, then we might get a couple other orders. And I believe that's the way that's going to work. So I really think, and I've been telling a lot of people that have called me and said, I think you should just find a dealership. You pick your dealership based on the kind of deal you're getting, not based on where you're going to be in their timeline. That's my philosophy on it right now. I believe that's the way it's going to work the best for you. Is I think they're going to go from your timeline, period, no matter what dealership you're with. But find a good dealership. If your dealership isn't doing MSRP and they're not honoring that and they're not holding to that, or they have a big dealer fee, then find a dealership you want to work with that does. And if that's us, great. But if not, then keep that in mind. Thanks, D-Loader, there for letting me know the time there. I do have to kind of break off here. They're going to be expecting me over there on the Zoom here in about 10 minutes, or probably less than 10 minutes, because I know they're going to want me to go live at 8:30. So over there on that stream. But I do appreciate everybody here. And let's see if I can answer any last questions real quick. Bronco was built today. When will McArthur get it? Again, it's built today, but it should get shipped out. Once you should get an email telling you when you should expect it. So I'll have to look it up and tell you what it is, but usually 4 weeks is a pretty good guess once it's built, Stephen. So I received an email from Ford Motor Company about being pre-approved. I mentioned that actually earlier, Hector, about that. So I got one of those as well. And I think the determining thing that a lot of people are guessing is that if you got one of those pre-approvals, then you're maybe getting a wave invite coming up, but we'll have to see. So hopefully we'll find out. Thanks as always. Okay. All right. Thanks everybody. I'll just do my ending thing here. I appreciate all the questions here. Again, if you have more questions, we're going to be over here on Facebook, going live on our Facebook account. So be looking, go to that. Of course, it's Law McArthur. Of course, Facebook.com/Law McArthur. Go ahead and follow us there, and I'm going to be streaming live. I'll figure it out before then, but Thursday night, 6 p.m. Central Time Zone on Facebook. So if you have some questions, love to answer some questions over there for an hour. So really appreciate it. And actually, it's not, if you're looking for the Zoom for the live stream I'm doing after this, it's actually down in the description. So check down the description. It's right there, the Auto Transport Intel live stream. There's a link to that video if you want to go over there and check it out. I'm going to be heading over there right after this. You can check it out over there. Don't forget, before you leave, smash the like button. I really appreciate it, folks. Make sure I got everything else. Don't forget to subscribe. If you want to become a member, join as well. Click that little join button and then learn a little bit more about it. And if you those that just joined tonight, thank you very much. Thanks to everybody joining the live stream. If you have any questions, I've done a lot better job. Caught up on my emails. If you want to email me, have any questions for me that I couldn't answer tonight, fordvideoguy@gmail. I've been actually responding to those questions every day. In fact, a couple times every day on both accounts. So definitely, if you want to get a vehicle from us, email me at timothybarts@gmail, and I'll make sure that gets on over to one of our sales guys. If you want to work especially with me, I'll do the best I can, but I will probably have a sales guy assist me with that. Again, thanks for watching the live stream. Really appreciate it. Until next week, don't forget to check it out on Facebook and check out some other videos that hopefully go live this week, and we'll see you next week on the live stream. Thanks, guys.